Welcome back. This is the big one. The National Petroleum Authority, NPA, says reports that fuel prices have been increased should be disregarded, and the story has no basis. The authority, in a press release Tuesday, said an 11% price increase reported on some online platforms are misleading. On Monday, media houses made reference to a statement by the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, signed by the Executive Secretary Duncan Amoa, claiming consumers are to expect an increase of between 5 and 11% on current ex-pump prices. But the NPA wants this report ignored, saying consumers should actually rather rely on the NPA's website or check publications of retail prices of the oil marketing companies. In a sharp rebuttal, COPEC insists that market figures picked on Monday indicated an increase of between 3 and 6%. Right, so I'm joined in the studio by Mr. Duncan Amoy, Executive Secretary of COPEC. He's in the studio with us to discuss this a little further. Good evening, sir, and thank you very much for your time. So there are many who will be wondering, who is telling the truth, government or yourself?
Stephen, the pumps are telling all of us the truth, and indeed, let me say a good evening to you again and your viewers. We are only able to put out there what we receive from the industry, and indeed, the only reason we would put out the information sometimes before time is to prepare the minds of people on what to expect, because it would be quite damaging on all of us if you wake up one morning looking to go about your normal job only to wake up to a pump attendant saying fuel prices have gone up, so what you actually wanted to buy, you cannot get the same quantity for what you have in your pocket. So we usually would go ahead to be able to inform the public as much as we can about happenings within the industry. Oftentimes when prices have had to come down, you would recall that on this very platform, we have made demands with the various oil marketing companies to reduce prices. Same when prices have had to go up. We have not been too selfish. We have not been unfair to the OMCs also. We appreciate the industry a lot better, and so we are able to appreciate when prices have to go up. Figures we picked out yesterday was pointing to an upward review of prices. So if you recall our statement, public statement yesterday, we were categorical that prices were going up between 3 to 11%.
But the NPA says we should disregard your statements because they are misleading.
You see, that is where the problem seems to arise. Now, let me explain a bit. We were categorical between 3 to 11. In fact, if you pick the statement, the heading said fuel prices going up in bracket 3 to 11%. Fortunately for all of us today, what we have been able to record from the market currently indicates between 3 to 6% adjustment, and that bodes well for me as a consumer.
Right, Mr.
Well,
William, I'll have you hold.
Let
me quickly get some clarification from Mr. Henry Akwabwa, who is the Managing Director at Engine Ghana Limited. Good evening, sir, and thank you. Let me quickly confirm from you, has fuel prices gone up, and by what percentage?
Good evening to you. Indeed, prices have gone up. But if you want to know the percentage increase, that is also going to vary, because every OMC quotes its own prices. So you can't have any uniformity in terms of increases or decreases.
Okay, so tell me,
prices have gone up.
Tell me the percentage your OMC has increased its prices by, and what influenced this percentage adjustment?
Well, for us, petrol has gone up by 4%. And the diesel has gone up by 9%, and this is, it's just 9% because previously we were quoting a lower price. So obviously, when we have to now quote realistic prices, then our percentage increase is going to be different from somebody who was quoting a higher price.
So what influenced this adjustment? And already, I must say that government is saying we should disregard all announcements in the media that prices have gone up.
We buy products from the bulk distribution companies. We don't import products on our own. So obviously, when they sell to us at ex refinery, So when the ex-refinery price goes up, then automatically the ex-pump price goes up as well. And every 2 weeks we are supposed to furnish the NPA with indicative prices for the coming window. And that is what we did last week, Friday.
Right. Mr. Kwabwa, thanks very much for that quick clarification. So, Mr. Duncan Amoah, Mr. Kwabwa says the prices have gone up and each OMC is varying it differently. But so what? Would you say that there is a feud, some kind of feud between COPEC and the NPA, for which NPA says that your statement is misleading and it appears to totally be in contrast to the situation on the ground?
Stephen, on the contrary, we've had very good working relations with the NPA. There are times we would disagree with the way and manner things are done. The NPA, if you recall, since the introduction of deregulation, have been a bit unforthcoming with information. And so we would have to fish information out and provide. You
think this is as a result of political influences?
Well,
or what?
We would not discount anything political with a state institution as the NPA. But again, we are not reading political motives into their activities. What we are saying is that pump prices would expose you. We said prices were going up. And why we couldn't be categorical to say 2%, just like Mr. Koboy indicated.
4%.
It is an industry between 4 and 9 for them.
Yes.
It's an industry that clearly would give you different prices. So we had a range between 3 and 11. So far, somebody has done 4 to 9, right? We would be happy if the others even do only 3 flat rate for all of us. But within that range of variables, it's a possibility anyhow, based on the OMC strength, based on what they did previously, and based on figures that will help them to sustain their business. So indeed, Stephen, where the confusion is coming in is where NPA is seeking to suggest somebody has announced fuel prices are up by 11%. It would be totally unwise for anyone to say 11%, so go, Total, everybody, 11%. That's why if you take the public release we put out, we were categorical that between 3 and 11%. So any figure or any variance within that range should be acceptable to all of us because of what we have picked from the market.
Let's look at it this way. If GOIL maintains its price, what does it mean? Does it mean GOIL might be shielding up or covering some excesses which the other OMCs are not doing?
You see, GOIL will have its own internal dynamics. Maybe GOIL has a buffer. Maybe GOIL has some extra products that it got and it needs to be able to... Or
government subsidies?
Well, whichever
that would
way,
have been illegally applied, right?
Whichever way it comes. If GOIL decides to maintain prices, it is very good for all of us. But let us remind you that GOIL probably will serve 22% of the population. Therefore, the 78% would have to buy at increased rates or increased prices. So it wouldn't be right for NPA or anybody to seek to suggest that prices haven't gone up, just like their statement have flatly sought to suggest. Prices have gone up. Indeed, the margins or the variance...
What's the current price ranges on the global market?
In fact, as of this morning, you were looking at $51 thereabout. It had moved from the 46 to 51, 52,
so
53.
Prices are appreciating on the world market. So it was natural for us to expect that these will trickle down to us.
Exactly.
And the tax components are too high.
Stephen, we have said variously that if the government doesn't look at the taxes immediately, we will continue to have the sort of effects that we are having, and it will continue the next 2 weeks. Anybody looking to play politics with it could play with it, but again, the pumps would expose you. If you decide that you would shelve whatever you want to shelve,
the pumps will expose you.
Pumps would expose you because world market indexes are things we do not control.
So you would recommend
what we control,
absolute transparency and honesty.
Yes, what we control and fairness to all of us. What we control locally is the taxes that we slap on products. So if we decided that price stabilization margin, PSM, alone should vary or should go down when world market indexes go up, it would give the OMCs, the BDCs, some comfort to be able to play within without passing it on to all of us. In the absence of that, the pumps would expose all
so the
of
prices
us. And
NPA,
prices are
so
up.
NPA is lying?
NPA got it wrong this time.
NPA got it wrong.
I'm sorry to say.
Duncan Amoah is managing director. Sorry, it's the executive director of COPEC. He joined us there. My name is Stephen NT, and this is still News at 10.